Hey, Sassy Stuff, what's up? I'm Molly, and we are back this week with a very, very special softball episode with a very special guest. You guys might remember him from last football season. He came on to chat all things Texas Oklahoma football with me. Welcome to the show, Joshua Morrow. Thank you so much for coming today.
Of
Um,
course.
Obviously, you swept us. It happened.
It happened and it was magical and beautiful.
I was checking because I only watched the first game. I kept checking for live updates because I was like, oh man, I got to talk to Josh on Monday. This is going to be embarrassing.
I'm gonna be classy and humble, but it was an awesome thing for these girls. I feel like they've haven't quite found their stride this year, but this might be the thing that really sends them into like full Death Star mode that I know they're capable of.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, being able to sweep any team, especially at the time, the number one team is like that's a huge upset. Extremely difficult. I'm enjoying the softball season so far. I think the competitiveness from each team, I mean, the amount of resilience and grit just from that sweep this weekend from both sides. I mean, I love watching an interesting ball game. I don't like watching run rules. I don't enjoy when one is way better than the next. And so the fact that each of these games, were 9-7, 8-9, like that is my favorite type of ball game. And obviously, like your team, I was kind of chatting with you earlier about your team. I want to give kudos to because they are a brand new team. I mean, they're the four-time reigning national champions, but their seniors graduated. They're all done. So this is a transfer portal team, a freshman team, a rookie team, if I'm being honest, to be able to come in and sweep. That kudos to you guys. I don't know how you're feeling about the season so far for Oklahoma. If this was kind of the prime moment for your season, or maybe there was something better this season that's happened for you.
No, this is definitely it. This is as impactful and big a series that they've had. To your point, I also prefer the closer games just from a fan perspective. It also teaches the girls something, to win in close games late. That's really impressive stuff. And, hats off to Texas. They came back in both of the games, even though it looked like OU was going to take them out, behind the woodshed. But Texas kept fighting, 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 and kept coming back like you knew they would. They're a really good team, obviously very well coached. And it was just a great series. I'm hoping this is what propels them to that next level. Losing Jada Coleman, losing Tia, losing all those people was very, very tough. And they put some pieces back together. They've got some incredible freshmen. They added some nice pieces in the portal. I knew it would be much tougher. And, obviously in the past, I just expected them to run away with it. But it was going to take some growing pains, and they've gone through that. But Patty's going to get them going in the right direction, and I'm hoping this is the series really that sends them into that stratosphere where they get that Oklahoma swagger that I know they have.
Yeah, and I mean, you just mentioned a couple players from the last few seasons. Do you feel like maybe there's a freshman or a portal girl that came in that we should be watching as non-OU fans? Like who's the best on the team or who's the underdog that might shine in the next 4 years?
So we have a phenom in the making, Gabby Garcia. She is outstanding. I can't even imagine the trajectory this young woman is gonna be on. She's already incredible, and just a true freshman is insane. So I absolutely love watching her. She's the future of Oklahoma softball, and I absolutely love her. Agbayani's amazing. Um, the pitcher that we absolutely had to have, we needed an ace, and getting Sam Landry was an incredible get by the Sooners. Sadly we only get it for 1 year, but boy, did we need somebody like her that give me the ball and I'm going to take over this game, and she's been amazing. So the obviously Ella Parker, who is she was an incredible freshman last year, and I thought she was going to be like player of the year type, player. And she hasn't quite been the force that we were hoping, but hitting that home run against you guys this series, I'm really hoping that is what, sort of gets things going for her, because if Ella Parker gets it going, like I know she can, I don't think this team can lose. So I think the whole Oklahoma hopes rely heavily on Ella Parker and also Kierston Deal. I know what we're going to get out of Sam Landry, the pitcher. If Kierston Deal that comes in as that second pitcher and she seems to pitch well in big games, then I think we are going to be the favorite going into the national championship.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you guys have some tough games. You guys play Florida later this week. I think OU kind of needed that high of a sweep with Texas. I feel like hopefully they ride the high. Hopefully this is like what they needed to get them through the rest of the season. How are you feeling going into the next few weeks? Because I mean, there's some obviously very difficult teams, and obviously OU is one of the difficult teams. But coming up in the next few weeks, there's going to be some really, really tough series happening. How are you feeling as an Oklahoma fan going into that?
Well, like in the past, it felt like there was only a couple teams that could win it all. This year, the parity is incredible. I think there's 5 teams from the SEC alone that could win it all this year. Um, so I'm excited about it. Day in, day out, you know you're going to get a big game in this conference. That sweep obviously was massive, and it puts them in the driver's seat to win the SEC, which is goal one to win the SEC our first year in. If they do that, it'll be an awesome achievement. And I think they only have to win one or two against Florida. They don't need to sweep. They just need to win one game and maybe two to like take it down. So but it's going to be tough, man. Florida is for real. I mean, they're really, really tough. So I don't know. It's whichever team gets the hottest going into this at the end, I think is going to win it all. I mean, it could be any of 5 or 6 teams, I think,
Yeah,
and
that
they're
could
all SEC teams.
Yeah, no, that's we actually just interviewed yesterday a gentleman from Alabama named Gray. He's actually a sports analyst for their softball team. And we were just chit-chatting about, he's been in the SEC for a long time, like Bama is his school. However, I asked, back in football season, a lot of people said Texas and OU didn't deserve to be in the SEC, even though they were basically running Pac-12, but whatever. Um, Coming into women's sports, I asked Gray how he felt as an avid SEC fan with Texas and Oklahoma stepping in. He said, from his perspective, it has leveled up the SEC. It has given them more, just like more talent in general. Like both OU and Texas, I think, bring a lot to the table, especially between obviously Texas doesn't have a gymnastics teams, but or a gymnastics team, but OU did win that national championship this year. And also, the SEC is a pretty dominant conference, if we're being honest. I mean, 5 of those 8 gymnastics teams were SEC teams. However, how are you feeling about those haters that were kind of crapping on Texas and Oklahoma, saying they didn't deserve to be in the SEC? And I feel like they've kind of stepped on everybody as they're coming in.
That's like in from a softball perspective, like that's like staggering that anybody could say that. I mean, OU is they're the standard in women's softball, period. So, from a softball perspective, there's not a single rational human being on this planet, especially if you include Texas, that could say that not adding those 2 teams to their conference doesn't elevate it. That's lunacy. Now, most of the conversation that I hear, to your point, is about football. And OU came in and struggled, which
Mhm.
OU had a absolutely brutal schedule. Texas came in and look how far they went. How could you say they don't deserve it? Texas came in and absolutely just proved they belong. So if OU can turn things around from a football perspective, they're going to be incredible additions to the SEC. But I don't put like any hater that says those 2 institutions don't belong in the best conference in the world is crazy, and they don't know what they're talking about. I mean, look at, like you said, we just won gymnastics. The men's team like finished third. Look at what Texas like swimming does. Look at what in the net, I don't know. That's crazy to me. I don't know how anybody could still say that. It,
I
it
mean,
doesn't help the narrative that OU came in and really struggled in conference play in football, but football tends to make more of the decisions when it comes to things like this.
yeah. Well, and I think too, to give grace to OU during football, and I kept saying this on the show with my other correspondents are all Bama fans. And I said, but to give grace to OU, they had a rookie quarterback. They had a terrible schedule, like very competitive off the bat. And it's also not a great schedule this year either for them. But strength of schedule is what we continually talk about. And so to give grace to OU, yes, they did struggle, but they had a brand new quarterback. They had a brand new team. They were in a brand new conference. I mean, you got to like shake it off a little bit. It's like hopefully next year is better for OU. I know their strength of schedule is brutal again this year. But I'm hoping for the best for them, and I think that they're going to get some good portal snags. I think it's all going to be good. But in regards to like even gymnastics, I mean, we talked about it over and over and over on the gymnastics shows. Like OU was really tough. The only team that beat the women's gymnastics was LSU, and it was by a decimal point. I mean, it was tiny. And also, you're looking at ex Olympic gymnasts on OU. Like
Sure.
we've got amazing talent, and that goes also with the softball program. I also want to shout out to OU's coaching staff. I think between gymnastics, softball, a lot of the women's sports in particular, they have some of the best coaches in the nation.
Patty Gasso should be on the head coach Mount Rushmore of just collegiate athletics. She's a goddess, man. I don't know where we would be without her. I've never met her. I would love to just sit down and talk to her just because I think she's so incredible at what she does. And, we're lucky to have her. Um, I all Patty reigns supreme. I'm a gigantic Patty Gasso fan. My daughter got a couple fish, and we named one of them Gasso because she's like, Daddy, let's name the fish after two Oklahoma Sooners. I go, great. So we named one Switzer and one Gasso.
I love that. That's actually so funny. You guys are like the most authentic Oklahoma fans I think I've ever met in my life. I mean, from the moment I met your son Crew, I've never met more passionate OU people. I
Oh,
also
we bleed it. Every one of my kids has an Oklahoma Sooner plate on their car. All of our closets are filled. We are diehards. I mean, can you name another, like, football obviously is everything, but how many guys like me would you think could come on and just rattle off every girl on the women's softball team? I'm obsessed with Oklahoma athletics, and I'm very proud of them. So let's go. Boomer Sooner for life.
I honestly have a really good feeling for the Sooners for softball. Obviously, I would love to see the Texas girls kind of come out on top. I think Mike White has done an incredible job with his program over the last couple of years. But obviously, you're looking at a team that is the four-time reigning national champion. And I think that is so intimidating for anybody. I mean, I would definitely be intimidated if I was playing softball against the four-time national winning team. I'm interested to see if they could do it a fifth time. And even with gymnastics, that was their seventh win in history, but also their fourth win in 5 years. And
Yeah.
so they're making history over and over and over, these young women down in Oklahoma. So I'm really impressed. There are a few athletes in this conference that really impressed me, and they all are at Oklahoma, Texas A&M, Texas, and Tennessee right now. Those are like my four. I think Pickens from Tennessee is probably one of the best pitchers in the SEC right now. Going up against her is incredibly scary. I would not want to go up against her. Obviously, the pitcher at Texas A&M, she's also handling it very well. These are also all girls that they have seniority. They're juniors and seniors in college. So once again, OU being a portal/freshman team is beyond my wildest imaginations. I did not predict OU would have a good year, if I'm being honest, because of that. And that is props to their coaching right there. I think that has everything to do with Patty, because without a good coach, I think it's so hard, especially with young women, to get them to mesh the way that she has done. And I really don't think there's another coach right now like her in the SEC.
Yeah, I mean, what they've done this year is remarkable. To your point, in the past, they've always had these incredible seniors and, women that they could lean on. This year, all their best players are freshmen and sophomore, with the exception of one pitcher. So they're very young, they're dynamic, they're going to get better and better. The portal has made NCAA very tricky, but adding Sam Landry in the portal was, paramount to their success, and I'm excited for them. When the lights come on and the games get super super big, they just don't have the seniors to lean on the way they have in the past. So I'll be very curious to see what that looks like come championship time. Their two best hitters, their two returning people that they were going to lean on, Cassidy Pickering and Ella Parker, have been solid. But if they're really going to go far, they're going to need some people that they didn't really expect to step up and really make some shocking plays. So I'm excited. And again, it's all about Kierston Deal and Ella Parker. If those two ladies perform, I think everybody else is going to do what they got to do. And I see a fifth one in our future. But the hottest team come tournament time is going to win it. Incredible parity this year.
Absolutely. Okay, I won't take up too much of your time, but one last question. We got a few questions about this on the last video that you came on and did during football season. During your football games, you wear your rally helmets. Is there a similar tradition while you're watching OU softball?
I don't have one for women's softball because frankly, I haven't needed it. All they do is win. And, I haven't had to do anything magical for them. But this year I may have to, implement something because you're right. I should give the girls their flowers. And what I also wanted to say was when you talk about the incredible women at Oklahoma, how about the women's basketball team? Baranchik has done an incredible job. Like they're and they just got that Alana Chavez girl, the number one player in the country. This Oklahoma is like officially a women's school, and I couldn't be happier for them. They're doing incredible and making us all proud.
And I think Shava's got a pretty good NIL deal if I remember correctly. I think her deal was pretty sweet on that one.
She had to have. I mean, she was as coveted a player as there was, and for her to land in Oklahoma, you know, I don't know the numbers, but NIL had to play a part. But I think the driving factor had to be that coaching staff, Reagan Beers, like the players that she knew were going to be coming back. Oklahoma, it provides a nice family atmosphere. I'm excited for them. They got something really cooking from a women's standpoint down in Norman.
Absolutely, I agree. I'm really looking forward to the next few weeks with softball. I think it's going to be really telling. I would say literally these next 2 weekends, these next two series are going to be very telling to see who's going all the way to the national championship. We obviously have 6 more weeks, including finals and playoffs, but I'm really looking forward to it. I think my prediction right now is Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Texas, and Tennessee. Those four are kind of my like, I have a really good feeling about these girls. I think that they are going to be battling it out and fighting for their lives come playoffs.
It's gonna be great. Again, who knows who's gonna win? I mean, there's such depth now in women's softball. It's a great game to watch. I mean, I love it. I'm excited for them. I'm really looking forward to it. And again, I love our youth. Gabby Garcia. Holy cow! I wish I could buy stock in her.
I listen, I'm the same way. Listen, if I could buy stock in Arch Manning, I would have a year ago.
Sure.
I would have bought stock 2 years ago, if I'm being honest. The year he redshirted,
Wow.
I would have
I'm
been like,
excited to see how he turns out. He is always going to get that sort of side eye because of that last name, but the kid can spin it. I got faith in him. Texas is going to be another monster. I mean, you look at their recruiting class. That's their schedule. Again, no offense, is so much easier than Oklahoma's. Oklahoma had a horrible schedule last year, and now we add Michigan to it. It's insane.
I will say Texas football does open with Ohio State, which is obviously who
They
beat us.
do.
So
Yes.
that I think is gonna be like that's the worst game to start out with, is like the last team you played is the first team you're playing this year. But I will say, I think if they can get through Ohio State, I think they can get through anything this year. They're gonna be just fine.
Yeah.
Um, but I think, Manning is very talented, and I like that he is a multifaceted quarterback. Like he's not just throwing the ball. He's on the 1 yard line. he's running the ball. I love seeing a quarterback that does it all. We're kind of moving away from that traditional Tom Brady style where I'm not going to run, I'm just going to throw the ball down the field, which obviously is great. And I think if you can do that, that's awesome. However, I like to see the multifaceted quarterbacks, and I think Arch Manning is definitely one to be watching this year, as long as he can stay healthy. That is, I think, the key to that story. And we'll just have to see how he does. I think he's going to have a good year, though. And I mean, he's a Manning.
I
There's,
do too. And to you, he's a very good athlete and obviously smart. And Sarkeesian is a brilliant play caller. So he's primed for some big time success, that's for sure.
the last couple of games, I was definitely questioning those calls, those play calls. But I'm not a college football coach, so I guess I should just mind my business. But I mean, the last few games, well, that and Bert, our terrible kicker, transferred, so he's
I saw that. Bert
yeah,
Auburn. Yeah, where'd he go? He went to I saw that nice hair he had.
yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah.
I actually don't know where he went, but we said good riddance. Well,
Yeah.
you missed not one but two field goals in a playoff game. You're out. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're right. Those kickers, man, if you're talking about a kicker, it's always bad news.
Sarah, it's long career bad news for them.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming back. We'd love to have you back again at some point. We always love having you on.
Anytime. Anytime. I will always talk OU with anyone who wants to listen to me.
No, we love it. We hope that you come back on. But in the meantime, guys, go follow Joshua. Go watch him on TV. How fun is this? Obviously, go ahead and follow, like, subscribe to the Sussy Stuff page. We will see you guys next time.